The content on this channel is intended for adult collectors and not for children. Hey, this is John Carlos, and I'm here with a look at the Star Wars Black Series Deluxe action figure of the Heavy Infantry Mandalorian. This thick boy is a Best Buy exclusive, and a readily available Best Buy exclusive. I remember the morning I watched this episode, the Friday that it dropped. Right after it ended, I turned to Tracy and I said, I want a Black Series figure of that fat Mandalorian. And I swear to God, like a few hours later, it was up for order on Best Buy. Now, there are several inaccuracies to the design of this character in this figure, surprisingly. I think the fact that they had it readily available the Friday the episode dropped means that they had to design this several months in advance and make it months in advance so that it was ready. So they had to go off earlier concept art or not finalized decisions. So, like, the fact that his belt pouches here don't have the little, like, tips flapping down, that his chest armor here, right under the moobs, has, like, these little slotted grooves, whereas instead there was just sort of like an angled piece that didn't have these little nooks in there. The shoulder straps here were raised and not flush with the fabric underneath. There's like a tube that ran from his like elbow cuff to underneath his shoulder plate. This tube does connect into the rocket pack, but it doesn't connect to the rocket pack in the episode. I don't recall there being a Mandalorian skull on his shoulder plate. His helmet had... the light blue section was like a much shorter section. It was like a completely different angle. The bottom of the helmet, it was more of a ridge. The eye visor didn't go so far to the sides. It was a much shorter, like, top T-line. A lot of things that just, you know, it still looks like him, but it's not totally accurate to what his design is. I still like it as a Mando figure quite a bit, and you still get the sense that it is, you know, the heavily armored, or Paz Vizsla. I mean, they can call it the heavy armored Mandalorian, but he's credited as Paz Vizsla. I'm going to call him that. The detail on this figure, though, is great. I love the separation between like the yellow and blue paint. I love the metal dents and scuffs on the armor. The little tiny colored sections of like red paint, whatever, all look really, really good. The little gold rivets on his snaps. But also the dirtying of like the yellow sections there. Really, really good dirty wash. Really well done. I mean, surprisingly well done detail on this. Kind of helps earn the deluxe treatment a bit because this retails for $29.99. It's considered a deluxe figure. There's nothing about the figure that's terribly large. Larger than some of the other ones, like the General Grievous figure, which I also thought was overpriced. I mean, all he comes with is like a rocket pack and a gun, and he's a little taller. I don't think that justifies the deluxe treatment. This could have been a regular figure, but oh well. Speaking of this rocket pack and stuff, here's a closer look at it. Really good design, really good paint on the little gray sections compared to the yellow. This connects to the gun itself. I think it's supposed to be like an ammo chain. That is a point of articulation. This handle here is also a point of articulation. So some pretty good details on this, including the actual barrel itself, or the barrels, the triple barrels. Yeah, and then this little tube connects to the elbow thing, which I'll do in a moment. Didn't give you guys a look at the back of the figure, so there's the back of his little man skirt. Good little sculpt to the way it hangs and flows. Hasbro's always been really good with sculpting implied fabric, so they've done another good job with that here. And then this just plugs in like so, and there we go. Now the gun can plug in to the side, and you can keep it in this sort of static position, which I think is a nice touch, because sometimes you don't want to have him, you know, pose like that, and I don't want this just sitting and dragging on the ground. So I think that's really, really nifty. This figure features all the standard Black Series articulation. The only thing worth noting is it's got the newer additional shoulder hinge that goes side to side, although with these big shoulder armor pieces, it does limit how much you can get that shoulder to move, but still. The points of articulation on this figure in the shoulder and elbow area really do allow you to get him to hold the blaster in a good position. Really, really good elbow range of motion there. This figure looks freaking great. I like to pose him with a little bend in his legs, and I think he looks like he's ready to rock. Despite my nitpicks about the considerable inaccuracies here, I do think this is a great looking figure. It looks great on the tabletop. I love the color scheme. I love all things Mando, so this figure totally rocks. Thanks for watching, everybody, and if you want, you can follow me on social media. I'll put up the links right now.